So the wine
Wine is
TkG, I'm gonna let
it's
you
a huge
present
project.
it,
Yeah.
and you're gonna tell me like try to be short because we're already at like 30 minutes. Um,
Yeah.
just to have again like present the project itself and how it differentiates itself versus what's happening on the other hand. Me personally, before you start, I'm gonna share my experience with it real quick as a user. I tried a lot of I would say like Proton build alternative for gaming, and my requirement in between comma like I like to game and have like the best experience ever. And I noticed that this tool was giving me enough customization and enough like I don't know how I can say that properly, but being able to compile really upstream toward wine. So having like really the latest rolling edge wine, like code, kind of like give me a better experience for certain game. And at the time, I was compiling them, and again, like this tool has increased my, I would say, like experience overall. It was really like it make a difference. So yeah, that's why I think it's really worth for everyone to take a look at it. So now your approach, TkG.
Um, well, it's one of the most complex tools I offer. Um, it's hard to grasp every customization that you can do, everything that's possible because it's pretty large and pretty complex. Mm, so it can create any kind of wine or Proton build. You can build straight from Valve tree and get, I don't know, some Valve bleeding edge Proton if you want, but you can also just generate some wine build, not Proton, just a plain wine build, but you can base it on, for example, the same Valve bleeding edge tree, but you can also build just wine upstream with no patch. You can build one staging and any amount of custom builds in between. You can make some Proton build based on upstream wine on wine staging also, and get some, I don't know, yeah, Proton 8.18 with a large amount of custom patches, and it will just work.
Yeah.
At least that's what we're trying to achieve, but it's been pretty successful so far. You can also build some Proton GE builds, um, but yeah, there is some things that makes it apart of other wine building tools, and for example, the Valve way of building Proton. We have a fully custom um, batch of scripts which will handle the compilation and customizations. And all of them will work in concert to wrap around the main script, which will just build wine. And yeah, it will add everything that's needed when you want to build a Proton version. But yeah, it's fully custom, fully integrated, and it will build against the system libraries. So you will get a more bleeding edge version of what you get from, for example, Proton GE or Wine GE, or just Valve provided Protons. Also, you can add staging patches to Proton from Valve. Uh, well, it's pretty huge. There are, I guess, thousands now of patches that you can add for
Yeah.
compat, for performance, for just mini features like GE does. You can add FSR. Actually, we add FSR before GE did at the time in Proton full screen hack. Yeah, it's extremely powerful, but it comes with some caveats. So it's fully distro agnostic, but the dependency resolution, even so, we have tried to automate it as much as possible for most distros. It can be a bit of a problem outside of Pacman distros.
Yeah.
So
So I
on
think
Ubuntu, on or Fedora, it can be a bit hard.
so this one I don't want again go too deep. I think we're gonna make a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
full presentation of it because to like this it's when you hear the word patch, I think for the viewers like yeah, but what kind of patch? And one I want to talk about, which was directly impacting me. At the time, I was making my transition from like streaming on Twitch, like 5 days a week, to streaming on
Yeah.
YouTube, and I still wanted to play Apex on Linux. And
Mhm.
when you play competitive gaming like that, you need to have the raw sensibility of your mouse enabled
Yeah,
in game. Okay. And I've been
indeed.
playing for like decades with a certain sensibility. I can play with another one, but it's just different, right? Well,
Yeah,
at the time, this build was the only one. I don't think I say something wrong, but at the time was the only one I could add this patch.
yeah, you're right. We offered raw input patches
Yep.
from Rémi Bernon.
Yep.
Yeah, for a long time before it became available in bigger proportions, either through Proton GE or through Wine staging.
Yep.
But yes, there are others for the MF Media Foundation platform,
Okay.
um, codecs, or yeah, I don't know how to say that, but yeah, we offered MF patches also for a long time. So you could see videos using Media Foundation that you couldn't see. You would get just a garbled display with um, many colors and grids on Proton without MF support, but Valve can't offer official MF support because it relies on some codecs that are not free, so they
Oh, got
can't
it.
share it. So they have made that tool allowing to re-encode the videos, but it needs to be re-encoded on some other machine first, then offered through the shader caches uh, through Steam client. So if you want to play something that's not on Steam, or if it's a game that has no um, pre-compiled, encoded, re-encoded shader caches with the video in it, you will get the garbled screen. But
Mm,
with MF patches, you won't. You will get the video, it will play fine.
that's cool.
So yeah, many things like that were offered over the years, and we tried to yeah, get the best experience possible.
Yeah, it's interesting because even
To play.
again something like Proton Bleeding Edge, because you are literally like using wine upstream. And tell me if I'm saying something wrong.
You
There
can
is
use whatever source you want. You
yeah.
can use Wine Upstream, Valve Wine, some custom repository for Wine,
So you could put yourself in a
whatever
position
you want.
where you are in advance, right? That's what I was just trying to say. It's like some of those new patch we are not aware about yet for new games or like even old games which are like
Yeah,
fixed in a particular like stream. You can just like go through it and play your game how you want.
indeed. I have to
Yep.
admit, lately, the development cycles in Proton have accelerated.
Okay.
Bleeding Edge wasn't a thing a few years back. We had experimental, but yeah, Bleeding Edge wasn't there. Bleeding Edge has additional modifications uh, against experimental, but also comes with something that's, to me, pretty important. It comes with rebuilt DXVK VKD3 Proton
Yep.
uh, outside of releases for them.
Oh. Oh,
So
okay.
you get Git versions of both with experimental bleeding edge, which you don't get with other builds of Proton. So we are offering that as well. When you build a Proton TkG, you will get by default the latest Git for both DXVK and VK3D Proton, but also for other tools like FFmpeg or GStreamer for the video decoding. But outside of that, custom patches for game compat are now very likely to be available extremely fast in Proton bleeding edge.
Oh, got it. I didn't know that. Okay.
So we are not. It can happen still. I'm communicating with many wine devs and many other devs which share patches with us. So yeah, it still happens. We have some stuff that is not found either anywhere else or in any pre-built Proton. But yeah, our advance is getting less and less. We are still offering something pretty big, which is not at the time compatible with Valve trees, which is a new evolution of fsync.
Oh, okay.
And I guess you're familiar with esync, fsync.
Yes. Yeah.
The next step, which is called either fast sync or wine sync, depending on the part of the code, because there is a kernel part and a wine part. This will be the next step, and it allows to handle some stuff that's not properly handled currently by fsync, like pulse events for some older games like, I don't know, Crysis 1,
Okay.
the original Crysis, which uses pulse event. This is not currently handled gracefully with fsync, and other synchronization issues that could happen with fsync are also not an issue with the new implementation. Currently, we are the only one offering it, and it's a way also for its developer, which is the same dev as for esync and fsync, Zebedia Figura,
Okay.
that allows Zebedia to get feedback and fix everything before we could eventually share it at a larger scale.
Interesting. So, just in case, and I didn't want. You see, this is a trick. I didn't want to go too deep there.
Yeah,
And
I'm sorry.
no, it's not
You
your
need
fault.
to canalize me.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna look like the bad guy if I cut you every 2 minutes. And it's interesting too. So I think it's good. In terms of um, distribution, let's say you use Proton up Qt, for example, or you go
Yeah.
through the website of the GitHub website and you want to download some of those builds. What are you gonna download if you get I think it's a daily build, right?
Yeah, we are building, I guess it's every 12 hours, I guess.
12 hours, okay.
Yeah, we are building multiple builds. There is an Arch Linux package, uh, pretty bare, with just mainline based wine.
Okay.
But with some customizations. It comes with fsync, notably, and various patches for game compatibility. But other than that, you have multiple Proton builds that are distro agnostic, and you get also some custom wine builds. Now, there is a broken one currently, which is a League of Legends one.
Okay.
But we'll get to figure that at some point. I will try to do that pretty soon. It's been going on for a bit too long right now that it's broken. But we are offering Ubuntu builds and Fedora builds. Fedora builds are also broken, but for another reason which we can't do anything about right now. It's a Fedora issue, and we'll try to get it started.
Got it. So overall, like if a user come and want to download it, it will be like normally straightforward because you still have one
Yeah,
which
yeah, we're
is
trying
totally
to. Yeah,
agnostic. Okay.
yeah,
So like we are aware like when you are working in this environment of like bleeding edge and with the complexity of the project, you can imagine that that's the type of like things that happens. But I'm gonna talk for myself here. Like my experience I had while using them for like 1 year and a half. I think I used those for 1 year and a half, and I'm still like testing some of the game. Like it breaks sometime, but most of the time it's not broken. It just happens, and this is part of the bleeding edge development.
yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
like
the project got some views over time. Initially, as I said before, it was for devs mostly,
yeah,
but yeah, it was interesting to non-devs as well, like Latris, which I offered builds for some time, maybe a year and a half or something.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, it was the the idea was to gain momentum, to allow for community to help making the project better and easier to use, um, without compromising the powerfulness that it offers. But yeah, now we have, I don't know, maybe 100 forks, and I don't know how many hundred stars. So yeah, there are many contributors, and if anything breaks and I'm away, I can be sure someone will have either reported or pushed a pull request to fix it.
that's cool.
So yeah, it's very alive as a project, and I love the community I have helping me on that.
Nice. That's nice. Okay, so what? Okay, so there is over like little like there is also like really good project we'll be mentioning, but I don't want to go again like too
Yeah,
deep into this.
I will try not to.
So what I would say is like just go to the Frogging Family GitHub repo, like check all the projects under it. I don't know if it's the right term actually. It's not a repo, right? Frogging Family, it's something else. Let me check.
Well, you could call it that. The GitHub term, I guess, is something else. I think it's an organization,
Oh yes,
but
organization.
technically, yeah, there are all the Frogging Family projects, and some links to our Discord, uh, my email if you want to contact me, and maybe also some links to my Patreon or something somewhere.
Okay.
Might be a bit hidden, but yeah, if you want to find it, you will find it. Uh, so yeah, I guess we could call that the Frogging Family repository. I think that works, and that's understandable.
Yep. So like if you want to see more, I'm gonna make more video about the project, like a little bit more in depth. I just wanted to make a presentation here of what TkG is actually accomplishing here, which I think it's awesome. There is more. We'll get through them after. I think now like something I would like to do because I know you through a community we are both part of. Like in case you didn't notice, we both have a French accent, and
Yeah.
there is this there is this big community called Gaming Linux France, and I had the opportunity to listen to TkG talk about video gaming on Linux, but also participate to some of those podcasts we are having there. And really, my intent here is like to introduce him, like give him a little bit more like I would say visibility through this channel to you guys, because I discover someone who is really like nice and passionate. I wouldn't say it if it was the case. Like I'm not, I'm just say what I have to say. And I think that's why I'm asking him to speak English. It will be known for everyone. It will be better for everyone just to know a little bit about the guy behind all of this. So I'm gonna ask you some question. So first, like briefly, what like how do like what is your path? I know you try to solve some issue when you create a new repo and a new application like that or code. I don't really know how to say it. Project. But how did you get there exactly, and what are you doing now?
Well, I guess I always was a passionate person, and when I love something, I can't half-ass it. I need to go deep inside and perfect it, make it better. So when I'm trying to use something that I love globally, but which is imperfect, which has some really obvious flaws, I'm trying to patch that out just to get everything as good as possible with my knowledge and capabilities. Um, so yeah, since I had some development background from many years ago,
Yeah.
I've been a dev right now for about 15 years. And when I say dev, I mean I developed apps and many projects for the past 15 years. I've been known initially for Android kernels, the glitch kernels, for the ones knowing that.
Okay.
Uh, and yeah, I fell in love with Linux and the inability to game in good conditions, either because of really terrible ports on Linux or just wine not being enough at the time, was a great frustration to me. I really wanted to use Linux while being a gamer as my main OS, but I just couldn't at the time. And when Philip, DXVK dev,
Yeah.
uh, pushed the thing and DXVK evolved so rapidly, yeah, to be a solution, making the idea of gaming in good conditions on Linux more viable. I had to join him with what I could to help and to get there to make Linux gaming possible and fun and not just some configuration nightmare.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I did everything I could at my level, and I think we created some link with Philip that helped. Uh, he shared with me the idea of trying to port a project from a friend, which was async before it was publicly known, really.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he tried to convince me to port that over to one staging, which at the time was required to play most games in good conditions. Uh, so yeah, the path was a path of patience and uh, the the need to be useful in uh, in that grand scheme of trying to push for gaming on Linux in better conditions. Uh, and I think today we can say we achieved it. Valve was huge, 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 huge. Without Valve, yeah, I don't know where we would be at, but I guess the XVK may have not been that much developed, that much optimized. Maybe we would not have get this really Proton. So the DirectX 11 games would have been great, but 12 ones would have been broken. And yeah, I think
Mm.
we need the support over time to make the thing how to say that viable
Yep.
on the long run. So yeah, the Steam Deck was also a piece of that. So yeah, I have worked on the Steam Deck as a Valve contractor. Um, I almost worked for Codewavers for wine devs, but yeah, there was an issue which was outside of my of me. Yeah, I wasn't the issue. There was something else. But yeah, I think the main motivation uh, is just the community uh, behind the same um, desire, a burning desire. I think Windows is not in a good place right now. Most people using it don't like it. It's pain to use Windows.
Yeah, I
So when
agree.
you offer them an alternative, which they like, not everyone will like Linux or will feel comfortable with Linux, but for the little adventurous ones, not necessarily very technically capable, but yeah, just a little bit adventurous, I think they can find um, how great Linux can be and how simple it can be also. Because the main fear for new users is that Linux is too complicated. You need to type code and stuff in terminals, and that's not what Linux is. You can make Linux easy for
Yeah.
newcomers. So yeah, everything, I said just now, everything is the same um, movement, the same energy of trying to create a truly believable, functional alternative to Windows for gamers. And I think the Steam Deck is proving that's possible, and
Yeah.
that
Well,
Linux is a good platform for that.
I think it's really interesting to see like your perspective, right? Because you have been like like on the other side. Because us as a user, we just see the end result, right? We see the Steam Deck, we
Yeah,
see like the opportunity to be able to play like video game on Linux, like it was playing on Windows. Like it's just amazing. But like seeing your like path and your story and having the chance to listen to it right now, I think it's pretty meaningful, seeing where it started, from what it started, like a will, a desire to make it work, and see it happening right now. So as you mentioned, like there is still work to do, especially about
and
what.
we have still proofs to give as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it a bit a few days ago, but yeah, I think the main blocker now is political. We need to make Linux um, as viable as possible in the eye of the big corporations that do not yet believe in Linux as a viable gaming platform, at
Yep.
least for the Linux desktop. Some of them have already decided that the Steam Deck was worth supporting, but Linux desktop is not there yet. And we can get there, but yeah, we have more proofs to give, and we need to show that the support, the energy uh, isn't going down, isn't stopping at any point, and we just want to keep that direction. So yeah, we need more users also,
Yep.
but yeah, more users and more editors following us, following through. Yeah, and when we will get some, I don't know, triple A games or very popular games with explicit Linux support, even so, I know there are extremism on that front, and people will just consider that games running through Wine or Proton are not Linux games. And yeah, it's true. It's Windows games running through a compatibility layer. But you might, as a dev, as a Windows game dev, you it's so much easier to make it work with Proton or Wine that you don't have the same need to convince an editor to, I don't know, pay $1 million more to make a line export, and the line export might be crappy because
Yeah.
it usually is. Um, so yeah, having a great experience on Proton on Linux, even though it's not a native port, for me has more value on the long run, has more value to convince editors because it's not the same cost. The experience is great. There are many games that run better with Proton on Linux than on Windows Native,
Yeah.
which is incredible.
It's
Um,
awesome.
it's awesome. A Linux port with low budget, mostly, wouldn't be anywhere near that. Also for feature support, ray tracing, whatever, it's just better right now. There are pretty much no Linux port that runs better than its Windows version in Proton or Wine. It's sad to say, but it's reality. Uh, there are some, but they are extremely rare. Um, So yeah, better go through that route for now, and eventually down the road, over time, um, editors and some devs will just consider Linux as a functional gaming platform, and there are people that can be interested in buying our games
You know,
there.
I like I like the direction we are going right now because I ask you something personal about you and what bring you there, and we can feel the fire. Like it's not like you can see that even if the project is evolving, even if we arrive at a stage
Yeah, it
where
takes time. It takes time.
everything changed so much, I can see you are still passionate about it. Because
Yeah, yeah. We still are.
I'm talking about you, and you just think about like the project and how we need to continue to push at the same level. Like it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'm part of that energy. Yeah, of course, of course. I'm
It-
passionate, and yeah, my life gravitates around everything. Yeah, everything we are talking about
yeah,
now. Uh,
it's
yeah, it's my life. It's my life. So yeah, talking about me without talking about this,
yep.
we don't be talking about me, surely.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. So yeah, thank you for answering this question. Because
You're
some
welcome.
yeah, that's really nice. I hope like the viewers they will feel it, and if they don't, like rewatch it, okay? Because I can feel it right now, and that's what came out from our like French podcast and stuff, and I wanted everyone to have this perspective about what is happening behind the scene. I see like when you start a Steam Deck and you play a game, like I would say the common user, he doesn't sometimes they don't even know they are using Linux because it's working so well. But
Yeah.
then when you go behind the curtain and you listen to someone like TkG and you hear the story and how like you feel the motivation and how hard I'm pretty sure it was, and all the efforts from all the community, including Valve and everybody you named, and certainly the one you didn't name, like everybody like going there. It's just awesome. And yeah, like I don't know, like I hope you felt it, guys. Like all the viewers there, it's just great. So
I'm sorry, the video will be much longer than.
well, it is what it is. Like we signed up for 15 minutes and we are at like 1 hour now, so we good.
True.
We good. Great.
Perfect.
I hope, like, guys, like if you are still watching, okay, I will say thanks for being there. Okay, and I will say also, like, don't forget to go on TkG, like again, like GitHub, Discord, Patreon, like everywhere, if you want to continue like the project to go in that direction. Obviously everybody needs support, okay, but you need to understand like the amount of work there, the heavy lifting, it's pretty huge. And if you want to give back to the community, that will be really a great way. Now we pass.
If you feel the same passion as I do, or if you're just motivated to help and you have some knowledge in C, in Bash, come and feel free to contribute. It's a great pleasure to have more people with sharing the same energy as us. I think we are about 50 in total, 50 persons either developing all these tools daily, patching them and stuff.
Wow.
I'm the main dev for sure. I have maybe, I don't know, 95% of commits under my belt. But yeah, everyone is welcome, even though you don't have the knowledge, but you want to learn. Many people on our Discord will absolutely do everything you might need to help you out and get into developing and helping on our tools if you want to. So yeah, feel free
Nice.
to come by and say hello.
Yeah, I'm gonna put all the link. I'm gonna put the link also in the description below to make sure like everybody has access to it. But you got the message, guys.